सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावली लोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदुतरे दिव्यकैशोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च।
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a detailed description of Kurmavataram. Bhattatri has brought the essence of Kurmavataram in a very, very engaging manner. Where he dedicates more time is to this avataram of Bhagavan called Mohini. Previously, when Bhagavan came as a medical practitioner, the physician, Vaidyo Narayano Harihi as Dhanavantari, carrying the Amrita Kalasham, it was snatched by the Asuras. So the Devas and the Asuras, while they were supposed to have a Yuddham, that is when Bhagavan appeared as a very beautiful, blemishless, dark-hued woman called as Mohini. The Devas and Asuras were extremely enchanted, lured with Mohini's beauty. The Asuras quietly gave away the Amrita Kalasham to Mohini. And Mohini took that Amrita Kalasham, asked the Devas and Asuras to sit in different rows and started distributing. That is when one of the Asuras called as Swarbhanu noticed that what was given to them, served to them, was not Amritam. And he was trying to escape to the Goshti of the Devas. That is when we are told in Sishtachara Parampara that his head was chopped. Having consumed Amritam, he could not be annihilated completely. So the snakes were cut and they were made into their respective bodies, which are called Chaya Graham, called Rahu and Ketu. Now, there should be a Yuddham after this. This is what continues here. Bhattatri takes us through. Tvattaha sudhaharana yogya phalam pareshu dattva gate tvai suraihi khalu te vyagrinhan ghoreta murchate rane bali daityamaya vyamohite suragane tvamiha virasihi tvai gate sati dattva. After having given away whatever Amritam you had, you disappeared. So he says, Gate. You went away. Pareshu sudhaharana yogya phalam. Now, after having given the Asuras their most wanted reward, he says, Pareshu sudhaharana yogya phalam. They initially stole the Amritam, right? Sudhaharana. Sudha is Amritam. Harana is to steal. Sudhaharana, for having stole the Amritam, yogya phalam. Whatever was the phalam required for that, you gave away. Then, tvattaha te khalu. From your hands, tvattaha te khalu. The Asuras indeed, vyagrinhan suraihi. Because they faced the defeat from you, one, they were not given Amritam. Second, one of their team members was also spotted and was to be killed. So they got agitated. Vyagrinhan suraihi. They started fighting with the Devas because you had disappeared. They had started fighting with the Devas. Athar ghore rane murchati. that Ghorerane, that it was a Mahayuddham, Ghorerane, it was a fierce battle. Murchati, it reached its peak. At that pinnacle, Suragane, Bali Daityamaya Vyamohite. Daityamaya Vyamohite. So there was one Asura called as Bali. This Bali Chakravarti is extremely important for us in the next Dashakam. So this Bali Daitya, this Bali who was a Daitya, Suragane Maya Vyamohite, with the help of all the other magic techniques that he had gathered, he was able to easily pull down the efforts of the Devas. Tvam Avirasihi Iha. At that point in time, Hey Bhagavan, when the Devas were facing defeat, you did appear in front of them. Tvam Avirasihi Iha. You appeared in front of them. Next, what happened? Tvam Kalanemi Mathamali Mukhan Jaganta Shakro Jaghan Balijam Bhavalan Sapakan Shushkadra Dushkaravadhe Namuchau Chalune Phenena Naradagira Nyanuno Ranam Tvam Athatvam Jaganta. Thereafter you killed Jaganta, you killed whom? Kalanemim Mali Mukhan. Kalanemi and Mali Mukhan. Mali. So there were Asuras called Kalanemi, Mali and so on. They were killed. Shakraha Jaghana. What did Indra do? Because the moment you started fighting, Indra got the motivation. He too killed. Whom? Bali, Jambha. So Vala, Sap and Paka. So he says 4 names. Bali, Jambhavalan, Sapakan. So 4 of them were killed by Indra. Namuchaucha. Note this line, Bali was killed. Namuchaucha. Even an Asura called Namuchi. Shushka Adra Dushkaram Badhe. Now he could not be killed that easily because he had obtained a varam. Shushka Adra Badhe. I should neither be killed by a dry weapon nor by a wet weapon. So you cannot use water and all of that. Not possible. Acid, water, because they are all wet. Neither can you use stone, arrow, mace, because they are all dry. So he had obtained that kind of a varam. So Shushka Adra Dushkara Vadhe. Then how did Bhagavan kill? Lune Phenena Sati. Lune Phene. So he used the foam that is gathered from ocean. So if you look at that foam that comes, you cannot call it dry, because you can sense some kind of watery content. But just because you sense watery content, it cannot be called wet, because it gives you the feeling of wetness, but it is exactly not wet. It gives you the feeling it is dry, that it is not dry. So he used Lune Phenena Sati. So he used that Phenam, that foam, to Dushkara Vadhe, to kill that Dushkara. Why? Because he has obtained a varam called Shushka Adra, neither wet nor dry. Tvam Nyarunaha Ranam Naradagira. Then finally the battle had to stop at one point in time because of Naradagira, Sri Naradagira. Because Narada has said, enough, how long will this battle go? So he was the broker, the peacemaker. Yosha Vapurdanuja Mohana Mahitam Te Shrutva Vilokana Kutuhalavan Maheshaha Bhutai Samam Girijaya Cha Gataf Padam Te Stutva Bravidabhimatam Tvamatho Tirodhaha Shrutva Yosha Vapuhu Ahitam Te. Then after having obtained that female form earlier as Mohini, Danuja Mohanam, which had even infatuated the Asuras, the Danavas, Maheshaha. Now hearing this Mahesha, Bhagavan Shiva, Vilokana Kutuhalavan. He got very eager to see that form. People said, didn't you see Mohini, Shiva? Didn't you see Mohini? So Shiva got, how do I see this Mohini? Gataha te padam. So he reached your abode, your dhamam, along with Samam Bhutaihi Girijayacha, along with his Dharmapatni Girija, Parvati, and Samam Bhutaihi, along with the Bhutaganas. So in order to see you, Shiva approached your dhamam with Parvati and the Ganas. Stutva Abravit Abhimatam. After praising you with all the Vedic hymns, he expressed to see you in that particular form of Mohini. Then what happened when you heard his request? Athatvam Tirodhaha. You drew a curtain. You disappeared. Drew a curtain, money, you disappeared. He went away. Athatvam Tirodhaha. then what will happen to Shiva's prayer that Bhagavan has to come as Mohini? He will come. आरामसीमनि च कन्दुकघातलीलालोलायमाननयनां कमनीं मनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विगलद्वसनां मनोभूत् वेगादनङ्गरिपुरङ्ग समालिलिङ्ग Vikshyattvam Arama Simani, beholding you in a garden, because Shiva went to Vaikuntham, Karya Vaikuntham, he couldn't see Bhagavan. He requested, I want to see you in Mohini Alankara, but he couldn't see. Bhagavan disappeared. Now he saw a garden. Arama Simani, Manodnyam Kamani. There he saw a beautiful feminine form. Kanduka Ghata Leela Lolayamana Nayanam. The eyes were moving like the balls, and then this beautiful girl was playing with the ball. I don't know, whatever you call it, basketball. So Mohini was playing basketball. So Lolayamana Nayanam Kanduka Ghata Leela. So he was playing the ball. Vigalat Vasanam. Now with the robes that were slightly slipping down, Yesha, it is completely Shringararasam here. Yeshaha Anangaripuhu. Even after having burnt Kamadeva, Cupid, Shiva got extremely excited. Shringararasam hurt him. He was completely enamored with Bhagavan's form as Mohini. He Anga Manobhuvegat. See, that force of Kamam, Bhattatri says, made even Shiva, who has burnt Ananga and made him Ananga, Samali Lingatvam. Shiva immediately came and embraced you, the Mohini Alankaram of you. Next, what happened? Bhuyopi vidrutavati mupadhavya devo virya pramoksha vikasat paramartha bodaha. Tvanmanitastava mahatvamuvacha devyai tattadrishastvamava vataniketanatha upadhavya vidrutavati. Then Mohini started running. This is all the Chalachitra moments. So Mohini started running from the embrace of Shiva. Shiva embraced that time. Bhuyaha api. Then even Shiva started repeatedly chasing Mohini that time. Devaha Virya Pramoksha Vikasat Paramartha Bodaha. Then that Viryam, that particular Retas of Shiva, escaped from him. Tvan Manitaha, who was honored by you. Uvacha Devyai Tava Mahatvam. Then he realized and spoke about your greatness to Parvati. See, he has made me get that thought, because all these days I was of the opinion that I'm Dakshinamurti, the Adhipati of Jnanam, I have won over Kamadeva, but Bhagavan, your brother, Hey Parvati, tried to prove a point to me that nothing can escape his Atyascharya Leela Cheshtita. Because under his Maya Shakti, everything can be controlled. See, even if I burnt Kama on one side, I succumb to the beauty of Narayana in the form of Mohini. So he says, Uvacha Devyai Tava Mahatvam. This is the greatness of Narayana. Hey, Vata Niketa Natha. Vata Niketa. Vata is Vayu. Vata Niketanam. That place, Guruvayur. Natha, the one who stays in Vata Niketa. Vata Niketa Natha. Tvam Tattadrishaha Ava. That great is your greatness. Why don't you protect me? Here he doesn't even say remove my ailments, because he is also equally enchanted with Mohini's beauty. So when Bhattatri writes and visualizes Bhagavan as Mohini, like Shiva, who has burnt Kamadeva, even he is enchanted. So he says, protect me. He doesn't say, don't even take my ailments, because that line doesn't come, because he is completely enamored with Mohini, Avataram, Mohini, Alankaram. So this is where we need to understand that there is a Sthala Purana in the state of Kerala which says that child or that Murti which was born as a result of Shiva and Vishnu's Shringararasam is called as Shasta in many of the villages, and one of the avatars of Shasta is known as the one who stays in Shabarimala, called as Ayyappa Swami. You must have heard of the great abode of Shabarimala where he stays up as Ayyappa Swami. It is believed by the followers and the bhaktas of Ayyappa that this Ayyappa is an avatar of Shasta. Shasta is none but the one who represents Shiva and Vishnu both. So there is a belief. And this Ayyappa Swami is treated as a Naishtika Brahmachari, Whereas when you come to Shasta, there is a belief in many of the villages in Kerala, districts bordering Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and in many places of Tamil Nadu, that he has two dharmapatnis called as Pushkalamba and Purna Pushkalamba is what they believe. So this is not found in Bhagavatam, but this is a belief.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते। नारायण 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 नारायण